Did I cut my hair, stop shaving, and stop wearing makeup? I'm on my way to get my hair cut off. This is hair, mind you, I've been growing out for like ever. I mean, I've had hair all my life, long hair all my life though. And sometimes it's been short, but for the most part, it's always been long. And I would have even gone longer than this. But realistically, it just doesn't work with a 2-year-old, or you know, I just don't know how to do like cute hairstyles, and even if I did, I don't have the time for that. But the main point of what I'm doing now is I am detaching myself from feeling like my hair is what might be the thing that makes me attractive, or long hair makes you feminine or more attractive to men or whatever. And being attractive to men is just no longer my number one priority. I mean, not that it ever was my number one priority, but you know, I am ready to do what's practical for me. And even though I really like my long hair, I like it less than I did, because it's really long and parts of it are not in great shape. Like, you know, the very ends are you know, old now. I think I've been growing my hair out almost 10 years. So, I'm ready. I'm ready for positive change for myself and doing something that makes sense for me instead of just what seems like, you know, I should do because everyone tells me not to cut it or whatever. Not your hair, not your problem.
Okay, here we go. The big cut. Are you gonna cry?
No.
Okay.
We're gonna say no.
Okay. Wait a minute, I gotta go.
I might though. That's a reality.
That's okay. We can cry. Here, it look good? Feel good right here?
Mm-hmm.
Look at that! Exciting!
I feel so light. Oh man.
You want to hold it?
My neck feels better. I imagine the ponytail would be longer than this because it feels so long on my head.
Mm-hmm.
There's still so much. Okay, let's see what's gonna happen. You guys. I didn't cry, and I actually felt really good. Like, I had a moment before of feeling trepidation and like, should I, you know, change my mind or what? But I loved it. Like, as soon as she like cut it off, it felt like my neck felt lighter, obviously, but it felt like the right thing to do. I'm so glad I did it, which a month ago I would not have been. But literally like a few weeks ago, I was getting in the car and I closed it and I got my whole ponytail like stuck in the car door. It was so long. And that was like the last straw. That and reading things like The Beauty Truth and stuff like that. I'm glad to know now that I've done it that I have successfully detached myself emotionally from the length of my hair, that it does not represent me as a person. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't make me unique to have it be long. It doesn't, you know, even if some men would have found that more attractive, or some women, that because I cut it off without an emotional response, that to know that I've moved past that even being a concern for me, like being worried that I would look less attractive. I did have a concern that the shorter the hair, the rounder your face, and my face I already see is a little bit round and, you know, a few extra pounds than what might be healthy. I don't know, but I don't feel that way. You know, it's just hair, and I can do so much more with it now, and I am so happy. I really am. I think that I think this is just so much more practical for my life, and not in like a I'm giving up on myself kind of way, but on a like, you know, I can fulfill what actually makes me happy in life better by not having to worry about what to do with all this hair or how long it's going to take to dry or whatever. Now, I can keep up with the toddler and I can clean without it being in my face all day. And I have these little clips I can clip back, and it doesn't have to be in a messy bun that damages the hair you've grown out anyway. And I think it'll be good. I'm super, super glad that I went through with it. And I'm super glad to know that I've moved past being emotionally attached to something as simple as the length of my hair. So, yes, I have cut my hair after, I don't know, 8 to 10 years of growth plus long hair for most of my life. But also, I have stopped shaving. I have in the picture, it probably looks shaved just because my hair is so light colored, and I don't think I grow much body hair really. But this is about, I don't know, a month's worth of not shaving. I'm used to shaving every time I shower. So that, and then the same with my legs, which again, not really dark hair, so kind of hard to see. But yeah, I haven't shaved my legs either or anything else. I shaved my arms even for the last 10 years. I hated body hair on myself, and I told myself I hated body hair on others too, usually. Like, I wasn't really into like hairy men or anything. But realistically, ever since I stopped shaving though, I actually really love this natural part of me, and I can appreciate it more in other people as well. So I think some of my reasoning for not liking body hair before was more of a convincing, myself. And I actually have stopped shaving several times in the past, but the reasons why I did it before was more about wanting to go a more natural way, less products you need as far as like, shaving creams and things like that, which I really don't use much anyway. But, it was more about minimizing my products and just, being more my natural self. My reasons now are different. It is to be more natural. It is to still lessen my use of products. But it is also now because I've woken up to all of the misogynistic reasons why women feel compelled to shave their body hair and to keep their hair long and to put on makeup. And I'll get to the makeup at the end. But as far as shaving goes, I just wanted to talk a little bit about how this ties in with misogyny, really. And I'm going to try and limit the amount of times I use the word patriarchy because it can be a bit overused. But the thing is that, I think we are raised seeing shaving as normal as women. We are raised that this is what you do once you hit puberty, that you get your first razor, that you use the Gillette or the Venus or whatever, and you are, especially if you've ever seen porn or feel like your partner has, it's expected that that's maintained down there, and preferably that there is not hair down there, or if there is, that it's stylish or something, not any sort of natural growth. And I've really just done a lot of studying and soul searching on the topic of beauty and how it relates to misogyny or societal beauty. And it's just been so eye-opening how much, I never realized that this is a thing. And deep down, I don't feel like I like to be controlled in certain ways. And I'm controlling myself in the sense of that I am buying into these things and have for most of my life felt like, you know, I need to fall into line and do this, because you're not, you know, when you're shaving and you're 12 or whatever, you're not thinking that deep. It's just, this is what my mom does. This is what my sisters do. And I feel a deep calling for me personally to bring about some sort of change in my lifetime here. And I don't know that I'll ever be able to affect that change. I don't know that I can even push over the first domino, but it feels important to me to, at least in some element, live in alignment with these things that I feel so deeply about and create some kind of change. Because even if I change no one other than how my own child is raised, that may be the first domino, and then her child and their child. Or, you know, maybe I won't change anything except for get a few people that walk by me in shorts with furry legs thinking like, she doesn't. Okay, you know, ew, but, you know, and you know they're going to think like that's probably nasty. And I'm still working out how to be prepared for faces that I might get and comments I might get and things like that. But this is a process, breaking through this societal conditioning we have. But, you know, I usually shower with my daughter. You know, she's 2, you know, so for most of her life, you know, if she takes a bath, it's pretty much the only bath I get to, and the only shower. So she'll play with her toys while I shower, and for so long, you know, I usually was always, you know, shaving my legs while she was in there or whatever. And now I've gotten to a place where I just feel like I don't want her seeing that as normal, you know, especially when it comes to you know, our lady business and things like that. I don't want her feeling like she needs to meet some sort of pornographic, unnatural ideal because it is a man's expectation of what's sexy or what's beautiful. And I know a lot of women that say things like, oh, I do this for me, because I totally felt that way too, because like I said, I felt like I didn't like body hair. But when you break it down, if you're the last person on earth, would you really still put on makeup? Would you really still shave your legs? You know, if you were the last person here, would you do all those things, honestly? And the answer is probably not. So, I, you know, I'm especially concerned with, you know, the shaving of the pubic hair, in the sense of, why is it that what is sexy is that women are to look like prepubescent children? You know, if you think about it, the only other time a person has no body hair on them at all is prior to puberty. And I don't see why a man secure in himself and mature and grown would find the appearance of a prepubescent girl more attractive and more endearing than that of a fully grown woman embracing her divine femininity as it is given to her by nature. So that is my feelings about that. I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm kind of going to leave it at that. I find this to be a process because, like I said, I've stopped shaving several times before and, you know, kind of got like irked out by it a little bit. And now my reasons are different, and so I've consistently continued not shaving for many weeks now. So lastly, I wanted to discuss makeup, and a lot of women say they do it for themselves, or it's a form of artistic expression, or whatever, and that's fine. The question is still the same though, which is, would you do it if there was no one else around to see you? And I think that, you know, I could probably talk about this for a really long time and go into more details. If you look at some of the advertisements that were out in the 20s or whatever, it was just, you know, women that would be horrified for their, you know, and mind you, these ads were put out by men. Most of the world's businesses are owned by men. It's something like, you know, 9 men own something like 90% of the businesses in the world, or something like that. You know, and these ads were put out to women, but they were written by men. And it was like, don't let your husband see you without your lipstick on, you know, or horrifying, you have a leg hair showing, you know. And it's just, it's really bothersome to me now when I see it. And it has those ads and those things have so deep seated into the psyche of women, and it's been passed down so many years that this is what's normal, is that to me they continue to win, to control women to look the way they want us to continue to dim our light and our natural bodies. And the more we continue to do this, the more we continue to participate, the more we teach our sons that this is what they should expect in women, and the more we teach our daughters that they need to comply as women in doing this. And to me, this is just such a deeper issue, and maybe in the future I might make more videos on this, just because I could talk about such crazy things about this subject, you know, things that are just maddening. And, you know, I never really had called myself a feminist, but now I, you know, am seeing things for what they are. And I think the more we empower ourselves to live in a natural way and embrace our natural bodies, the more we teach the men around us that they're expected to do the same. Our sons, you know, teach them that as a mother, you know, this is what a woman looks like. Teach your daughters that, you know, it is okay to look different from other people and to not fall into line in this instance, you know. And I could recommend a few books. I had started a few books, and I can't say I've finished any of them yet because I tend to jump a lot on books. I was recommended by Freely the Banana Girl to check out the book called, I believe it was called Beauty and Misogyny. That one I found a little bit difficult to read personally, just because it seemed grammatically strange and a bit rambly, so I did not finish that one. But also The Beauty Truth is one I recently started. I'm sorry, The Beauty Myth. And The Beauty Myth is more encompassing, you know, how the advertisements have played into what's accepted in society now and things like that. And also I recently rented Holy Misogyny, which is about some of the religious influences of like women's roles in the family, in the church, and how biblical or other sacred texts have influenced how women are seen now because of what was expected of them religiously and in the church. So those are some really interesting things. I actually really recommend Freely the Banana Girl's new Instagram feed. I was not always a huge fan of some of the things that she posted, but now, you know, things have really changed in her life, and she posts a lot about the beauty myth type issues and feminism and things like that. And you know, I'm really proud of these changes she's made, and she's been super inspiring to me lately. And I definitely recommend checking out her page. I think the new one is called Freely Official, and I think she still has Freely the Banana Girl. You can find the actual link on the Freely the Banana Girl Instagram. So that said, also makeup, I was getting to that, is that I rarely wear makeup, and I've never been a heavy makeup wearer. There were some points in my life where I played around with it a little more than others, but I certainly can relate to feeling insecure without it in some situations, mostly like formal gatherings and things like that. To me, it kind of still even feels like if you go with a bare face, it almost looks like you were lazy or like you just rolled out of bed kind of thing. But if you think about it, it's super maddening, because when do men ever wear makeup? And they never are thought to look like they just rolled out of bed or they did something lazy. You know, if they showered and they combed their hair, everyone's like, hey, you clean up nice. But for women, we're expected to do all these things and slather our skin in makeup, and it's, you know, it's ridiculous. So in this case, I'm still working on makeup more so. I haven't worn any in, I don't know, a couple months, I think, except for, ironically, today. I pretty, you know, you could tell I don't really have much on. I just have a little bit of a breakout going, and my skin was kind of red, so I put some powder on, and you know, just touched up, just really light makeup. And I didn't mind it because I kind of wanted that to be a part of this video, is that ironically, you know, I cut all this hair off today, but I did put a little bit of makeup on. And I wanted to point out that I'm still working on this. Like I said, it's been several, you know, at least several weeks or several months since I've worn any makeup, because I can't remember the last time I put any on. But I wanted to say that it's okay if it's a slow process for you. My partner even made the comment of like, try, you know, one change at a time. Just, you know, do what you can and do what you're comfortable with, because at the end of the day, what you're trying to do is work up to a whole body positive change for yourself and for the people around you, and, you know, getting people thinking or positively influencing our children and our partners. You know, for a while I was worried about, like, with my hair or whatever, like, you know, and with makeup, what would my partner think if I wasn't ever wearing makeup, or if I you know, grew out all of my body hair, you know, when he'd be grossed out. But the thing is that if we have a centered, balanced, grown, healthy partner in our lives, he or she is not going to be bogged down by this idea of body hair or makeup. They're going to love us for who we are and this unique person that's underneath us. So those are just some thoughts. I think I definitely will make another video about this in the future, because there's so much more I could say. I hope this has meant something to someone, and hopefully, I don't know. I think positive changes are coming in my life, and there are so many already. I feel so grateful, and just, I'm filled with joy over my changes. And, you know, I mean, all my life I was told that women are universally more attractive to men if your hair is longer, and I was always told not to cut it, you know. But the thing is my priority is not being universally attractive to anybody. My goal is to enlighten my mind and my spirit and do good and learn new things every day and live life. And if you don't find me attractive, I mean, my heart's not broken over it, because I wasn't asking to be. I was asking to be a person, and we're all just asking for decency from one another, and it's a good life. So I hope this means something to somebody out there. Thanks for watching.